Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Did you know that nearly half of all high earners out there still report living paycheck to paycheck? It's wild, right? Today, we're diving deep into something that affects every single one of us, our money, but more importantly, how we actually hold on to it. The really powerful premise we're unpacking today is that taking control of just a few small, daily money habits can literally eliminate your financial stress and build lasting wealth.
So, let me throw a question at you right out of the gate. What if saving a tiny amount every single day could build real, generational wealth? I know, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But stick with me. Over the course of this explainer, we are going to reveal the exact actionable steps you can start using today to truly secure your financial future.
Look, we all know that one person who pulls in a six-figure salary but is somehow always completely broke. And then on the flip side, you have the modest earner who quietly builds this massive nest egg over time. The biggest difference between people who stay broke and people who become financially secure actually isn't the size of their paycheck. It's exactly how they manage that paycheck.
All right, let's jump straight into phase one. Master your money flow.
So before we can grow our wealth, we have to understand where our cash is going, which brings us to habit number one. We are all totally guilty of death by a thousand cuts. You know what I mean? That random streaming service you haven't watched since 2021, the daily $6 latte, or that late-night impulse buy when you're endlessly scrolling. A lot of us don't even realize how much of our income is just vanishing into thin air. So your challenge here is to track every single expense for one full month. Jot it in a notebook, use an app, whatever works. Seeing the cold, hard reality of where your money goes is absolutely crucial to spotting these hidden leaks.
Because honestly, there's a profound truth here. You can't improve what you don't measure. Tracking your spending isn't just some fun little journaling exercise. It's the mandatory first step. You have to face the reality of your spending habits head-on before you can even begin to cut costs.
Which leads us straight into habit two, creating a monthly budget. Now, don't let the word scare you. A budget is a plan, not a punishment. A highly effective way to do this is the classic 50-30-20 split. Basically, you divide your income into three clear buckets: needs, savings, and wants. The real secret to making this actually work? Pay your essential bills, your needs, first. Then, lock in your savings, all before you even think about touching that wants category for entertainment or eating out.
Moving right along to phase two, build your financial defense. Now that we have a plan, it's time to fiercely protect what you've worked so hard for. Habit 3 is an absolute game changer. It's called paying yourself first. Literally treat saving like it's your most important bill. If you just wait to save whatever leftovers you have at the end of the month, well, human nature, specifically Parkinson's law, which says we spend whatever's available, guarantees it's going to be nothing. The most successful savers automate the whole shebang. The exact moment their paycheck hits, a portion transfers directly into a savings account. It's a non-negotiable bill you owe to your future self.
Of course, I know saving is incredibly hard when temptation is literally everywhere. That brings us to habit 4. And honestly, it's the most effective weapon against the absolute wealth killer that is impulse buying. That weapon? The 24-hour rule. Picture this. You see a non-essential item you suddenly, desperately want. Maybe it's a flashy new gadget or a killer pair of shoes. Instead of frantically clicking buy now, force yourself to just walk away for 24 hours. Sleep on it. Let that emotional high of shopping wear off. By the time the next day rolls around, you usually look back and realize, hey, I didn't actually need that at all.
And you'll be really glad you kept that money saved because of habit 5, preparing for the unexpected. Murphy's Law basically guarantees that eventually the car will break down, the roof will spring a leak, or a surprise medical bill will show up out of nowhere. This is exactly why building an emergency fund is vital. By gradually saving enough to cover several months of your bare essentials, you are essentially buying peace of mind. You're protecting yourself from spiraling into sudden debt when things inevitably go sideways.
So how do we fund that emergency account faster? We look to habit 6, actively reducing our monthly expenses. These might seem like tiny little tweaks. Canceling one unused subscription, cooking a few more meals at home, avoiding food waste, or just taking 5 minutes to compare prices online. But guys, here is where the magic happens. If you redirect those saved dollars into investments, they don't just sit there. Thanks to compounding interest, those skipped coffees can literally grow into tens of thousands of dollars over a decade. No joke.
All right, time to shift gears into phase 3. Go on the offense.
Now that we've got a rock-solid defense, it's time to aggressively attack our debt. Habit 7 is a massive one. Listen closely.
Credit card debt is a financial emergency. With interest rates often hovering way over 20%, you are paying a huge premium on every single item, basically turning compound interest against yourself. If you have debt, you must make a strategic plan to wipe out those higher interest balances first. It is essentially a guaranteed, risk-free 20% return on your money. The less interest you pay to a bank, the more money you get to keep in your own pocket.
Now for habit 8, let's talk about growing the whole pie entirely. There's a limit to how much you can cut your expenses, but there is absolutely no limit to how much you can earn. Saving becomes so much easier when your income actually grows. Whether it's learning valuable new skills, starting a freelance gig on the side, building an online business, or taking on part-time work, the real magic happens when you combine these two forces. Earning more while continuing to spend wisely, that accelerates your financial progress exponentially.
And finally, we hit phase 4, play the long game. All the tactics in the world won't work if you just quit after a month, right? So habit 9 addresses a core psychological truth. Saving money just to have a pile of money gets really boring really fast. You have to give every single dollar a job. What are you actually doing this for? Are you funding a dream business, buying a home, securing an early retirement? You have to connect your savings to your deepest desires. Setting crystal clear financial goals is the absolute secret to staying motivated when the day-to-day discipline starts feeling like a grind.
And that brings us to habit 10, which is really the backbone of this entire blueprint. Consistency beats perfection. Building wealth is exactly like planting a tree. You don't see the growth day to day, but with patience, discipline, and regular watering, it eventually provides massive shade. Even if you are only saving a tiny amount, doing it repeatedly allows it to grow steadily over time. You don't have to be flawless, you just have to keep going.
Which leaves us with this final, honestly provocative thought. It's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep. It really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? So I'll leave you with this question to ponder today. If you were to audit your spending right this second, how much of your future wealth are you accidentally throwing away on things you don't even really care about? The power is entirely in your hands, hidden in the small decisions you make every single day. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep building those habits.